hello. Oh. Yeah. So yeah, after going decently hard at marketing and behind the scenes stuff last week, I'm seeing the fruits of that. Basically, after putting it off as a nagging task for a while, I made the, hold on one second, let me center myself. I'm gonna turn the music down a bit. Turn down for what? So I can communicate better. Ha ha ha. Okay, so basically last week I finally made the Airbnb pages for the rooms that are here at the Hummingbird that I have been managing lately. It was a daunting task for the longest time, and then finally I did it. It was like, make the Airbnb, work on the Facebook page, work on what is like behind the scenes stuff to make a project really pop off and to get people to know about it. So it feels like, hi mom! It feels like that work is for nothing, but then finally, you know, people start booking on the Airbnb, people start donating to the fundraiser to get energy moving in the space, and it's just been so awesome. The other day, yesterday, I was prepping for the event that I'm having today, a little brunch, like our second brunch that we're having. We're also having a bit of a holiday market, that's why all of these clothes are behind me. Woo! We have a bunch of clothes going on here, play dress up, but where was I going with that? Have the clothes, the market. Oh yeah, yesterday as I am prepping for the market, I had someone drop by. It was like a whole family, the mom and the dad, they're both artists, they have 3 kids, super cool, like family vibes, you know? So they come and I'm like, oh no, the market's not until tomorrow, and they were just like, yeah, like, can we have some coffee? And I'm just like, yes, oh my god, yes, here's some coffee. And they were like, oh, like, can we work here? And I was like, yes, because like I've observed I have a resistance towards letting people in the space because I think that they're just going to waste my time or just like suck up my energy or something like that, you know, so it's like that boundary is up, but it felt so good to trust and put that boundary down, let people in the space and actually see it being utilized in a co-creative way. Like they were sitting here, they were doing all kinds of artsy projects. We would get the next round of coffee when it was time to do that. I was sitting working on designing the menu for today's event and just like cleaning the space. I had some other friends that came through, they're like our neighbors basically. They were putting in clothes, they were helping me get the space ready, they were helping the other neighbor get his space ready, and it just felt like this really awesome synergy where we all had our own thing going on and we were working on that individually in the space but could like come up for air. Hey, let's have a coffee break. Hey, let's do this or that. And I don't know if I've existed in space like that in that way. I probably have, but what comes to my mind is working on a project at Starbucks or something, like working in a cafe, you know, like in my experience, I would go in alone. I would usually be traveling, like digital nomad life or whatever, but I'd be traveling, and one of my favorite things would be to go to a new cafe that I'd never been to before, or like a small diner in some like small American town, you know, for like the cultural experience. But it would be alone, like I would be by myself. And if I did want to connect with other people, it would be outside of a context of work or what I was working on, you know? So it would be like, I would see other people as a distraction in that sense. So I found myself working less and less in public spaces and more just like in my room where I was living, all of that. And that works well for me. At the same time, I really enjoy the experience of what is essentially co-working, you know what I mean? But it's not like we have a boss, like we are all, maybe some people have the boss or whatever, but the way I'm looking at it, we're all working for ourselves and we're working together. And I've just seen such cool magic come of that way of doing things and interacting with work. For example, say it takes any one person like 3 weeks to complete a task. That's one person. Say they work on that task for 4 hours a day, just as an example. One person, 4 hours a day, it takes 3 weeks to complete that task. So you can crunch the numbers on that and see how many hours that takes, and compare that to 4 people working on that same task one person was working on, and it gets done in 4 hours. 1 4-hour chunk instead of 3 weeks of 4-hour chunks. And that's just like, I'm giving an example. It by all means does not always work like that. Part of it is like being focused, clear communication, staying on task, everyone knowing what is going on, you know what I mean? But in theory, we are so powerful in that way. It's like how ants work and stuff. So I'm seeing a way of working that is like everyone's doing their own thing. They work like 40 hours a week or whatever, and like that's their work. And that can be valid. And I am also seeing an alternative or like supplemental way of working that is, it's like, okay, I call up 10 of my friends. I'm like, hey, if you guys can spare like 2 hours of your time on this one day, that's 10 people, 2 hours, and we get what would have taken me, I don't know how long, for that work to get done. Another example is someone just reached out to me the other day to make them a Linktree account. I don't know how into like Instagram y'all are, but basically you have space for one link on your Instagram profile page. People put like their website link or something like that. Basically, Linktree allows you to put one link, the Linktree link, and then that link lists all of your other links. So say you have your website, you have your YouTube channel, you have your Patreon, so people can support you when you create content. You have a book that you just dropped. Cool, yeah. You have like the podcast you just did. So it's like all of your work, kind of like your portfolio, all in that one link. So someone reached out to me to help them make their Linktree, and I'm just like, it's done. It took me like, I don't even know how long it took me. Another example is I helped someone recently add some courses to their website and just do some overall aesthetic-y tweaks, and I so love working with this person, Dawn of the New Era, bad bitch, awesome, cool chick. I highly recommend checking out her work. But she's been so awesome to work with because she really lets me see value in the work or the uniqueness that I'm bringing to the table and how it supplements what she's doing, and how if she were trying to do the work I would be doing, the online type of stuff, it would take her much longer. I said all that just to say, if we can harness our power in what we are good at doing, what we want to do, and what the world actually needs, and then we show up to do that, you know, and then like everyone can just be doing, this is like idealistic hippie type stuff. I'm living it practically, so I'm gonna see where the limits of my idealizations are, you know, but that's why I'm grateful for this opportunity as well, because I'm like, whoa, we have so much potential. Okay, what actually happens? What actually happens is communication gets fudged up. People say that they can and want to do things that they don't actually want to do. I do that. That was a huge insight I got yesterday, is like, hey, don't say you'll do things that you don't really want to do. You know, sounds obvious, but this is what's coming up in my experience as I'm creating this space to not only just sit and have coffee, but really be harnessing how we are manifesting things in this world, if that makes sense, and not in just the woo-woo sense manifestation, in a very, like, my background is in psychology. I have a psychology degree, so I'm very interested in like the science and the logic, the practical, non-emotional steps and bits and parts that help a workplace come together, that help a community come together. Now, emotions and all of that, it's part of it for sure, but I see how we can, through personal improvement and a desire to grow, can really do cool stuff with other humans. And I can't speak for where everyone is at. I can't speak for where everyone is at in the world. Like, I know for sure there are humans right now having an experience that is like, they're all alone. Even before COVID, it's like they're all alone. They're not fucking with anybody else. And that's their deal, you know? So post-COVID, not only are they like doing their own thing, but they're being programmed to be like, like, to see another person is like danger, like you're coming to kill my grandma, other person, stranger person. So that is, that's not how I'm perceiving the world right now. And I feel like, hey, Uncle Bruce, I know that I have an immense amount of privilege in my family, in my educational background, in where I come from, and all of that. And I want to use that privilege to really, really, really share and give back and see what needs worked on in these times, but also being realistic, not trying to save the world, not trying to save everyone, growing and understanding not everyone wants to receive help, not everyone wants to heal, not everyone has the same values that I have, and that is what that is, you know what I mean? And I have different values than other people have. And so letting that all go, like not trying to save the world, being realistic, wanting to like stay in my lane and own my niche, so to speak, but being like, oh my gosh, I have a so interesting opportunity. I have such an interesting opportunity that I'm so grateful for, especially in the most frustrating moments, because I get the gift of being able to see my shadow self so clearly, and it's so uncomfortable, but then, you know, do my bit, try to get the gems out of it as much as I can. So yeah, yesterday it was definitely a trial run when people stopped by and I observed this initial fear come up where it was like, okay, these people are coming into my space, period, you know, like, okay, what's there? Why are you so resistant to these people coming into your space? But pushing through that initial avoidance reaction, I did let them in because I wanted to, you know what I mean? When they were like, yeah, we want to come in for coffee, and it was like, yes, this is what happens next, you know? And when they asked like if they could work, it was so refreshing. Not to say work has to be like on the computer with technology like I work on sometimes, but anything. Like when I say work, I'm saying you're taking time to focus on a specific task that in doing that task builds you character, helps your community, helps people out, and like gets you paid, gets you money, gets you resources, all of that. Call it work, call it like whatever you want to call it, but that's what I mean by work. It can involve like a W-2 payment, it can involve like a T99, whatever it's called. It can involve just like bartering for where you're staying. It can look so many different ways, and that's what I'm trying to get at. But as I'm talking, I am seeing that where I'm at in my life right now, I'm very interested in learning more about organizations, productivity, leadership development. Again, not trying to save the world, not thinking I know anything about anything, but understanding that I have enough privilege to be able to manifest a little something, and I'm open to doing the work to make me a better holder of the blessings that like are just my birthright, you know what I mean? So it's like the blessings are non-negotiable, like the juju's there, so I can take that and be like, okay, how can I get the most out of this? How can I, you know, if you have like a piece of bread or like a bit of food and you know you're having a whole bunch of people come over, it's that magic that I'm getting at. It's that like feminine, powerful goddess magic where it's like, okay, this is mine, everyone has access to this, this is my bit, it's my birthright, no one can take it from me. How am I going to do the best I can do to, how do I put it in English? How can I do my best to maximize the potential, my potential self, you know what I mean? So yeah, that's what I'm working on, and how I'm working on like expanding / maximizing is I'm hosting an event, like a solstice brunch type of thing. Let me show you the menu. But yeah, I was going back and forth with it because I was like, what am I trying to prove anything to? Like, I don't want to host. And if, like, I did want to host the event. I'm getting it. I wanted to sabotage myself and, like, cancel it. But, I kept pursuing. The last brunch event that I hosted here, I had, like, so much anxiety. It sucked a lot. But I'm learning that even if you do something and it sucks a lot after you've done it, and you try to do it again, in my experience with this specific thing, the second time I did it, it felt like, not effortless, I definitely put energy into it, but it felt like a lot less stress. I'm trying to find the words for it. It felt more familiar, and like, I wasn't fearing the unknown anymore. The first time, a lot of my fear was coming from having not done it before and like fearing the unknown, and now there's still unknowns, but more of the territory is mapped out. That's where I'm at. I'm mapping out more of the territory in this new frontier that I'm in with every day, and it's making me feel more excited to do work here and confident, and also like humble, wanting to continue to learn, continue to be in right relation with my neighbors, with the land beneath me, with where I come from, with where I'm going, to not sacrifice or neglect my spiritual and mental development as I'm doing this worldly community building-y type of stuff. But oh, here's the man. Alright, be right back. The music is like skipping and being weird. Alright, yeah, the music was skipping and being weird. I wanted to sabotage this event, but I pushed through it. It's not only like a little brunch, the second brunch, but it's more of a market going on. In where I'm at now in Guatemala, they have an abundance of what they're called pacas, and basically fast fashion, all the fashion stuff going on in the world, a lot of the clothes end up here, and me and my friends love looking through these clothes and getting shiny things, wearing them, and then ultimately, or part of it is reselling them to other people, because it's like, hey, this is cute, this is cool, I think you'd like this, I don't think you'd like that. And it's not, I'm seeing how much I do like expressing myself through clothes and fashion, although I am still reluctant to admit how much I love it. But this is what's all going on behind me. I had my little bit in the corner here, and then my friend Una, epic fashion designer, she came and like brought some magic yesterday, and I remember the sun had already set and it was nighttime. Is this your home where you're at now? Yes, this is where I'm living right now. It's my home, and part of like what I'm figuring out is like how to have this be my home and personal space, while also opening it up to other people in understandable context, and like sharing space in that type of way, figuring out how I'm even programming the space, and then who would best be aligned to fit in the space with me here. And yes, this is where I am staying, having a brunch today, having a little market pop-up thing with all of these clothes that are really fun. I was wanting to look all through them last night, and I was like, no, let the sun shine on them. My dog says hi. Hi. But yeah, this is the little menu. Got a little alien solstice brunch, little spaceship. Yeah, and you can go on my like main Facebook page for links to stuff I've been referring to, like the Airbnb listings. We have 2 people that have booked so far, and I love it because 1, money's coming in. Cool. 2, people are getting to utilize the space. Cool. 3, I get to meet new people that are probably going to be super interesting and pretty cool. Cool. And it happens automatically. Not completely automatically. I was the human that activated the Airbnb portal, but before I got that live, how people were booking was frustrating me, because people would reach out and it was the stance of like, hey, I'm interested, asking the same questions, like, do you have rooms, are they private, is there a kitchen, how much are the rooms, da 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 da. And I don't mean to come across as cynical, but after that happens so many times, it's like, this is not efficient, so how can we optimize this as a system, which is part of my value set. Not everyone's, but part of my value set. So I'm like, okay, I need to have how I'm doing this in line with my value set. So, all right, no more answering all these questions. Here's a frequently asked question document. Bam. Okay. No more telling me, okay, you're interested. I mean, yeah, cool, you're interested. I'm interested in a lot of things too, but as entrepreneurs or humans out there know, people being interested is not the same thing as people actually buying your service or product, you know what I mean? And that is the responsibility of the entrepreneur, the provider, to do that, what's it called? Crossover, insert buzzword here, whatever it's called. And that's built off of, in these days, I feel, just like keeping it real, having good content and information, you know? So me keeping it the realist is like, yo, I'm not trying to answer all these questions. Here's the frequently asked question document. Here is like this cool site that has all the info on there. If you want to book, you can do it all there, and then it just sends me an email, lets me know you're coming, and then I get all ready. Who is it? Team? Un momento. So yeah, that I had been putting that off for a while, and I was still doing business in a way I didn't want to be doing it, inauthentic, not vibing. And then yeah, finally did the Airbnb thing, and yep, people already booking. So I'm like, okay, this is the way. I know Airbnb takes like a commission or whatever, but to me it's worth it because it saves me so much time and energy not middlemaning, and I don't like dealing with cash in hand, you know? So I like that the money, the credits, the codes or whatever just gets deposited to my bank account then, and then I can do whatever with it. So if someone out there has a better alternative to let me get the lighting. If someone out there has a better systems alternative to Airbnb for something like this, or if you've been through what I'm talking about, where maybe in the hospitality or like community niche, where you're like doing so much, talking to so many people, but it's like, how can we optimize people? How can we optimize the best, most aligned people coming in, being interested, and then actually choosing to engage with this product? Yes, that's the question that I'm asking, you know what I mean? And I'm figuring it out, doing all of the wrong things, and I love being on this journey. And yeah, let me know if you like understand what I'm talking about, if you've had experience with this, and what systems you have found to optimize clients and customers in that way. And I feel like as I'm talking about how automated I want the process to be, I'm like, oh, does that take the humanity out of it? And to an extent it does. At the same time, it's taking the humanity out of like a part of the process that can be and like is shifting to be ever more and more and more automated, you know what I mean? So it's like does having a robot check out your food compared to a human take the humanity out of it? It's like technically. But if you're going to the grocery store or like needing the utmost emotional support and all of your needs met from your cashier, then you're probably not as well balanced as you could be, to where if that's replaced, then you connect with humans, it's all still good. So yeah, I'm even challenging myself in that, thinking, oh, if we automate all of these things, how does it affect us socially and how we move forward? So I like being able to like stream of conscious process and just share where I'm at on my journey, because then the questions come out, and that is that is the first step to getting the answers you want, you know. So yeah, I've been here for almost a year, and in this property since November. So yeah, going on the end of 2 months in this property, and I'm definitely getting more of a flow down. I feel like the first month was more about me landing and just being like, okay, what the heck did I get myself into? And then the second month has been more about building a team that can help me and I help them activate our multiple visions, like I was talking about before. Like, okay, we come here one day and we get more work done than I could have gotten done in a week. We go to the next person's place another day, we get more done than we could have gotten done in a week. We go to the next person's place another day, we get more done in that day than one person could have gotten done in a week, and then we do the same thing for the last place. So that's like 4 people, 4 different projects, properties, all getting more work done than they would have gotten done in like a week's worth with one person working it. So again, let me know if that makes sense, if I'm like tripping, and what like books or resources or like people you know that are maximizing that way of doing work, basically. So yeah, this month has been about team building and getting systems in place to work and to move the energy in a way that is regenerative. So yeah, that is a new one. We were talking about sustainability for a while, like how can what I put into this bring me back what I've put in, and now I'm thinking regeneration. So it's like how can what I put into this or any project, how can I put into this thing, what can then have that thing give me back more than I put in, to where I can share it with my neighbors, with my children, with my family, with other humans, basically. So I don't have all the answers, but I'm seeing this new way of being and doing and working in the world, and I'm open to more mentorship. I'm so grateful for the people I've been able to meet just in holding space here in the little bit of time that I have, you know, and being like vulnerable enough to be like, hey, this is what I'm seeing. Feel free to rip it to shreds. Like, where can I be more fortified? Where can I improve? What am I not thinking of? So like the ego has to take a back seat, and I'm not trying to hear everyone's opinion. I am trying to hear people who have been there, done that, and then they can say a little something. Then I'm like, please bring it, but don't get it confused. I'm not like, hey, everyone tell me what you think. Like, no, it's like, you're a professional. All right, people are starting to get here for the function. All right, first guests have arrived. I might get off live and start jams up again. All right, thank you.